Hello, let's do a homestead tour for the end of July. I'm Liz Zorab and this is Byther Farm. I'm just outside what we used to call the chicken palace, and it's now just the palace because it no longer has chickens in it. But it has got this beautiful Joe Pye weed flower. I absolutely love this. I've tried collecting seeds to grow some more of it, but they didn't grow. So this is the only clump we have here. It hasn't taken over, but it has got quite big. So here in the turkey run, the babies still haven't got used to me. Still not used to me yet, are you, boys and girls? So we've got 7 left, and some of them have succumbed to the heat. I can't get any closer to them than this at the moment. This is close enough, isn't it? You don't want me to be any closer. So we've got 3 slate, 3 black, and 1 that's brown, and I've got no idea, it's just a turkey. But I can spot we've very definitely got 3 boys. I think I can work out there are 2 girls, and the other 2 I'm simply not sure about yet. You're not enjoying the heat incredibly, are you? Hey? So the Joe Pye weed is just round the corner there, and this is the palace. And I've now cleaned it all out. Put all fresh bedding in there, put in some new perches, and opened up this hole so that the turkeys can go in there when they've worked out that they can go in there. As yet, they still haven't worked out that they can go in there and have extra space. So it's going to about double the amount of space that they've got for running around. And I wanted an area that was going to be covered and that would protect them from wind and rain. Now at the moment it's absolutely glorious, but the next few days we are due to have some less pleasant weather, lightning and thunder and rain, and it could be quite breezy as well. So I'm hoping in the next day or 2 they'll work out they've got the additional space and they'll go in there to get some shelter. And then over here on the other side of this chicken wire is an area that at the moment is unused, and our plan is to extend this run out that way so that the turkeys will have much more outdoor space. That will get used, but again I need it to be secure all the way around and to be covered so that we don't have the issues we had last year when the turkeys did vertical takeoffs, went onto the shed, went onto the palace, climbed up onto the barn roof and wanted to sleep there overnight, which we didn't feel was really very safe for them. So this year they are having everything overhead is going to be enclosed. So at the moment they have this run, and they'll have the palace when they work out they can go in there, and when we've extended that and covered the roof, they'll have that as well. I'm absolutely delighted with how the patron's garden has turned out. So it's an area of 4 beds. There's a hugelkultur bed there, and then raised beds all around me. It has just been such a pleasure to make it, and a pleasure to watch the amount of wildlife we've got coming to it. So all sorts of bees, hoverflies. It's absolutely wonderful, and the variety of plants that have grown. Many are annuals like this cosmos, and what else have we got in here? Some larkspur, and then a whole host of perennials. Lots of them, just avoiding the bees, lots of them like this bergamot. So as you brush past them, they're releasing their scent into the air. The centre here is all clover. I don't think there's really any grass left, and keep saying let's cut it, but as long as it's got flowers coming and therefore feeding the bees, I'm not in any huge rush to get rid of it. The archway here that I put in from recycled materials, it's done really well. It's absolutely performed its job beautifully, and we've got all sorts of squashes climbing up over it, as well as some roses. Hello boy, how are you? Monty to keep me company again. And then this week I have put on an extra 2 panels here, put in a couple more metal poles into the ground, and this is plastic tubing, which is water piping, which I've just used to give it a little bit of form. I'm sorry boy, there you go. Because the squashes are just growing and growing, so I'm giving them a bit more space to grow up. I'm really pleased with this. And then over there is the market garden, which I started making in, well, wasn't it even early spring, it was mid-spring. I'll show you how that's doing. I didn't really get much further than doing a square this year to use, but we have had the red cabbages, there's peas and leeks, I've had beetroot and onions, now we've got sweet corn, there's been strawberries, there have been more peas, and in that tunnel there are my Brussels sprouts. So I think the thing is with this is I've started and I'm using what I've got, and then on the far side of the Brussels sprouts I've laid a huge sheet of plastic down. Now underneath that is all the mucking out from the chicken shed, so it covers about a 2-inch to 3-inch layer over the whole of this area. I then watered it, put this plastic sheeting down, and my hope is between now and next spring the worms will come up and do their thing with all that chicken bedding, and then all of this area will also be ready to plant in this raised bed on one side of that archway. The squashes are doing really well. There's a black currant that I put in, and I've put in some more squashes here, and they're going to be allowed to just run riot over that plastic sheeting, and hopefully as the sun warms that black plastic and the heat is held in that area, that will help the fruits on these squashes mature really nicely. In this wide bed next to the polytunnel, I had planted potatoes in there, and as I'm lifting those, I'm replacing them with perennial flowers. I've put in things like peonies and echinacea and lobelias, and I've got lots and lots of dahlias to come in here too. And I'm not in any hurry to get these potatoes out. I'm just taking 1 or 2 plants a week as we need them, and allowing those tubers to mature as much as I can before I need to lift them. And then when there's a space, I'm going to be putting these perennials in, but I'm also going to leave some room for some strawberries, so this bed not only looks nice but it's productive too. Here in the polytunnel, things are doing really well. Tomatoes are growing almost faster than I can twine them around their baling twine. And the courgettes have, well, they've gone bonkers. I've never grown courgettes that look like this. In fact, I haven't grown courgettes since we've been here. They just haven't done well at all. This year they're doing really well. I'm so pleased. The plants are big. They have got powdery mildew, and I'm going to try using a really small amount of bicarbonate of soda in some water with a drop of environmentally friendly detergent, and see if that will help them. In the meantime, I'm keeping them well watered and well fed, which I suspect is why they're doing so well. in combination with the heat and the shelter that they're getting in the polytunnel.